Hello, chess fans. Welcome back to Blizzard94. And today I'm going to be doing like a very small review of Karate Kid Legends, which, in my opinion, is a very solid movie. I'm not going to do that much of a spoiler, or if anything, I hope I'm not spoiling. I did read like one, well, not read, but I did see a YouTube review here on YouTube by another Karate Kid fan and Cobra Kai fan, and he said that it was kind of, it's not like the type of movie where you expect a huge impact in the universe. Like you don't really expect much from it. It's just a movie, just go there, pass the time, and it's a very fun movie. And I have to agree. Honestly, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but just from watching the movie, what I like about the movie is its practicality and its originality, because it doesn't just borrow the same concept from over two franchises with Dre and Chain from the sequel of the Karate Kid in 2010 with Jackie Chan. It doesn't copy anything from that, nor the original Karate Kid. It doesn't borrow anything. It tries to make its own character, have its own story, and that's why I love in Lee, who doesn't really grow up to be the poor kid who didn't really grow up having much, or a kid who was like struggling a little bit, and then eventually, he found karate and he found an amazing victory. Sorry, sorry. Lee is someone who always he grew up with kung fu, and he has already some connection to karate. Like one, even though they're not the same, but they're kind of similar in terms of martial arts. And he simply fell in love with it. He was always someone who had the connection and the ability, to adapt to it and simply fall in love with it. It's not like he was out of nowhere just magically drawn to karate. So that's what I love about it. I think this movie has a lot to show, and I do love how they implement something stupid such as a pizza restaurant and try and make it such a very fun gimmick. I think it's really nice seeing Lee's character with his development and his growth. And I do like the way that they implemented Daniel LaRusso and Jackie Chan back into the mix. It was just really nice, like seeing Mr. Hans and Daniel back into the mix. I'm not surprised that they couldn't get Jaden Smith or the original actors, for Shane back into the movie. It's not much of a surprise. Maybe they could have gotten Shane from the Karate Kid from 2010, but I'm not surprised. Maybe people hated the fan. They not the fan. They hated the film. Sorry, and they called the movie honestly unforgettable. Well, not unforgettable, just forgettable, and in general, because it wasn't really much of a. It didn't really have any correlations with Karate Kid. Again, it was kung fu. It was legit kung fu. The whole movie became a meme with Jaden Smith, and it was always just jack it on, jack it off, jack it on, jack it off. It became a whole joke to this point, to the rest of the franchise, that so many people just tend to forget about it. But I like the movie. It's overall a really good movie. I can see why they couldn't get Jaden Smith, as I said before. I am surprised they couldn't maybe get Shane, at least to come back, maybe give a little bit of cameo help out and let Lee. But it is understandable. They want to just focus on their own story. And I do like, again, how they implemented Daniel and Mr. Hans. And what I do love about the movie is that Mr. Hans is actually connected to Lee, not as a random boy from the street, like as actual relatives. So that's what I do like about it. And the same way that I like Daniel LaRusso, where they're not really relatives, but Mr. Hans was friends with Mr. Miyagi, and they both come from the same branch, the same tree, two different branches, but they together combine. When they combine the branches, they form one tree, and that's what I love the message of the movie. That regardless of what type of martial arts you're studying, at the end of the day, if you all form together, we can become a union. And I think that's what Daniel and Hans did, to help out Lee in the tournament. And I honestly love that lesson, that they both worked together to make the results possible. Overall, if I have to give this movie a rating, I don't want to make this review too long, but I want to give this movie a very solid 9 out of 10. Mostly for one specific reason, and that's because I feel that this is why I'm gonna agree with the guy who did the YouTube review. I feel like the movie didn't get too much. I feel like the generational impact, like it does tend to do some stuff to make it feel like it's from this generation instead of using that old style from the Karate Kid of 2010, which is fine. We're in 2025. That's how movies are nowadays. You gotta implement and be more modernized, which is the norm. But I didn't like how they try and make a little bit of a joke, and there were some points in the movie where you feel like this character could have perhaps gotten a little bit more development, or you could maybe perhaps want to see more Daniel LaRusso, or a little bit more Miyagi lore, or something like just a little bit more just plot development and characters in general, just getting to form their relationships, and maybe we can see more backgrounds. But it's just too much to unpack within 90 minutes. Like I get there's like an argument needed. That you could potentially win out some things a little bit better. But overall, it is just a very enjoyable movie. Again, it doesn't really impact much. It doesn't try to force Daniel LaRusso or Jackie Chan's character, Mr. Han, to be something that they're not. And it doesn't really rely on them, which I really like. It just tries to become its own original movie. It does share the same concept of the kid eventually, winning the tournament, getting the girl, getting whatever, getting pizza, and getting whatever. But at the end of the day, it is just that fun, lovable karate movie that we all love and we all grew up with. So overall, I think that is just my opinion. I honestly recommend you guys go watch Karate Kid Legends right now. It's in theaters. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. It's not a bad movie by any means. It's not a cash grab. It's just a really solid movie and it's super fun. So yeah, remember, slice first, slice fast, no anchovies. Miyagi-Do. Okay, I'm out here. All right, Blitz Wizard out. Go watch Karate Kid Legends. Or pepperoni first, pepperoni last, no anchovies. Alright, see you guys. I'm out here.